All right, welcome to the Sushi Onsen AMA, where we host projects that have partnered through the Onsen program and give them a platform to reach a larger audience. Today we have the team leader from MustCometh with us, Jerome de Tychey. Oh no, I already lost it. Oh, I practiced this before. Okay. Um,
No worries. My
yeah,
name is Jerome de
welcome.
Tychey, and I'm very happy to be
Awesome.
here with you guys.
Awesome. Thank you for coming out. So yeah, do you want to give a sort of project overview of MustCometh and what you guys are doing with DeFi gaming?
Sure. So, for the sake of people listening and so on, I'll share my screen so you guys can see what we are doing because we have a game, right? So
Oh, I
since we
think
have a game,
I
I
think
think
you
it's
canceled your screen share.
sorry,
There you go.
it should be coming. So since it's a game, I think it's better for you to see what's going on, to see what the game look like, so you can better understand what we're trying to achieve there. So Cometh was a game built to be a real blockchain game in a sense that compared to other blockchain game where you just take it some asset and say it's NFT and you have some asset NFT, so you are a blockchain game, right? We go this first layer of abstraction and we say like, okay, let's do the NFT asset anyway. But we go a second layer of abstraction saying all the mechanics of the game are blockchain based. And then when we have an NFT game with blockchain-based mechanics, then we can go a little further, like a third layer of abstraction, having a sustainable economy in the game brought by decentralized finance primitives. So that's what we tried to build in the first place, and we arrived to this concept of, let's say, yield-generating NFTs. So we've deployed this game that you see right now on the screen. That's one of my favorite spaceship, a collection we did with the Chinese New Year event. And your position in space right now, you see a beautiful retro gaming style space. And when you zoom in to the game, you see this. Like you have all of those little
Jerome, could
squares
you
here. Oh,
could you
yeah.
actually re try to reshare your screen? I don't know if it's just me, but it's just buffering for me.
All right. Let me see if I can do something. All right, let me try it again. All
Okay,
right,
there
what
we go.
about
It's
now?
working now. Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know what was going on
So,
before.
so what you see right here is all those little squares here are spaceships, other people's spaceships. Like if I click on this dude, it's a Badger DAO spaceship actually. And in the space, you have those comets coming by, and the goal of the game is to try to position yourself at the right place, the right moment. So your area here is your mining area. You want to be in the good. You want to be in the mining area where the comet is coming. So right now, I missed this comet, right? It's passing by too far away. So I'm going to try to reposition myself. Let's say here, for example. So we are live on Polygon Matic. So the transactions are not that expensive. And we are one of the most active DApp on the network, something around 15,000 transactions per day. What happens is if I manage to position myself right, I'm going to be able to mine UniV2 what to must tokens. So those are LP tokens. Oh damn! I just jumped too far away. So that's the random element of the game. Sometimes you're just jumping and the transaction takes too long to mine, so you just miss the comet. So the randomness inside the blockchain is complicated, but randomness from the miners picking up the transaction is pretty good. So, oh yeah, I should be good. That should be good. So the principle of the game is that we distribute some fees that we get from DeFi interaction elsewhere, from L1 to L2, inside L2, or directly from L2 to L1. We try to build bridges between different protocols like this. And we take a fee that we redistribute in-game. So if you're playing well, you get a chance to mine a lot of comet to become an LP on multiple sides. And if you think the game is boring, but the spaceships are cool, you can also rent your spaceship. So we have a rental service where you can rent your spaceship to other people. It's pretty pretty successful. Like it's a good entry point to the game. If you don't want to spare too much money on an NFT you don't like, you can just rent someone else's spaceship and start to play. And yeah, we do collaborations with multiple projects, notably YAM that is coming up next week. We did Bajada, we did Avegochi and others, and we are pretty happy with this start of this collaboration with SushiSwap. Very happy to be part of the Onsen on layer 1, and we want to look after your community also on layer 2. We know that SushiSwap is coming to the layer 2 as well on Polygon Matic soon. And we have a reward program right now on our own DEX called Comet Swap. So if you go and deposit some Sushi to Must token, you'll earn some more Must. And if you go deposit some LP tokens from SushiSwap on SushiSwap Matic, we are going to try to also reward you for being an LP on SushiSwap from our own liquidity mining program. And maybe in the short run, maybe next month, maybe next week, maybe later, we are also going to distribute some NFTs based on SushiSwap. I can share with you some screens already. That's the design we are working on of SushiSwap spaceships. So at some point, if you want to cruise the universe, in a pretty cool one. And the next one was it's a concept art made by one of your designers, Chester. I think it's really an awesome spaceship, but still a work in progress. So yeah, super happy to count you to be part of this MAA. Hopefully you'll get a sense of I like this game and I want to try it out. And we have the PvP coming soon, so I'd love to have a SushiSwap team trying to mine some comets in the game. Yeah.
I had a question about the ships.
Yeah.
Are there like attributes attached to the different types of ships as
Yeah,
well?
absolutely. So they are from different varieties. We have common, uncommon, rare, and mythic spaceships. The more rare they are, the better the statistics of the ships are. So, for example, if you look at this one, the Avegochi one, it has it's a beginner spaceship, I think. It has a very large mining area. It's mine okay-ish, not too strong, not too small, but still mining. But very big mining area, so it's very tolerant to bad jumps. And it takes a lot of time for it to cool down and be able to start mining again. And if you look at a more rare one, for example, this one, it has a mining range that's pretty small, 19 kilometer, but a mining power of 190. So it's pretty tough.
Oh, okay.
If you
And
look
the
at
mining range, that depends on like how closely you have to align yourself with the
exactly.
asteroid. Okay, gotcha.
Exactly. So if you look at this one, it has a pretty big mining range compared to, say, that one, where it has a lower mining range, right? I really like this one because it has a really big mining range and it has good mining power. I don't have time to play enough, so I like rookie spaceships like this. So you just have to get close enough to the comet. You don't have to be at the right place, right moment.
You just
So what's
AFK
cool is that,
mine.
yeah, exactly. Or you can, well, it's a pretty cool ship to cruise in. Like, I think it's very stylish. So, like, sometimes I put it on renting and it's always rented. It's like, I feel like I'm renting my Lambo when I put it on rental. And we keep track of every jumps, every pulling you get. So the main game mechanics is that to position yourself elsewhere, you have to jump on someone else. So if I want to be like, if I jump on this dude, for example, this small jumper, I'm going to end up at this red spot. So you make jumps in space. So you try to anticipate the comet, do the right move, do the right thing at the right time. And so you get some money out of it. So sometimes people are just putting themselves towards you. Sometimes you just pay and pay and pay, and you don't end up at the right place. So overall, since early February, I was able to mine something about $1,000 with this spaceship pretty happy about it. Paid half of it in fees because I kind of suck at this game, honestly. Just enjoy playing it. And so when we observe the game itself, we see people that are trying to optimize their position, and when they are in the right spot, they just up their price. So my price to pull people towards me, it's 0.0006, but sometimes people are just exaggerating their price, knowing that they are in the right spot and that people will have to pay them. So there is this adversarial or maybe collaborative way of playing. We have a couple of guilds. We have a couple of people that are twitching or doing video tutorial. It's a cool growing community, and we are very actively adding new people in the space guilds.
Gotcha. And it's being on Polygon Matic obviously helps massively. But like, what is like the average cost per transaction while playing the game?
Wow. Let's see. If I want to pull myself towards someone else, I'm going to pay. So I pay a little bit of Must token to the players, and then I have to do a transaction. So so I'm paying this amount of Matic token. I don't even know how much that costs. Let's see. Wow. I don't even think it's a number. Let's see. I pay wow, 2 times 10.
A hundredth of a penny.
Yeah, hundreds of a penny. Yeah, so
Nice.
it's not super costly to play, right? And the good thing is that when you bridge an asset to Matic, you get airdrops on Matic tokens, and you can start playing. Like you get enough to play, enough to have fun. So that's one of the pretty cool things. And yeah, you get enough liquidity on Matic to exchange pretty much any tokens. On Comet Swap, we focus on yield generating tokens from DeFi project to the L2. So typically, you will find some BDig, some BBadger, hopefully pretty soon some XSushi. If you want to have a Curve Vault from StakeDAO, you can find it on our exchange as well. So we try to focus on that, so that if you don't have much money to spare on the gas fees and you have only a little to invest, you can just do that on Comet Swap directly. Or if you have extra liquidity that you like to put at work on Polygon, you will be able to put your LP tokens for yield on our exchange as well.
Awesome. I feel bad. I feel bad sort of steamrolling it over anybody who wants to ask any questions. So if there's any questions that people wanted to ask, feel free to speak up.
I have a question. What's like, I guess, the end goal of the game? Like for new updates or expansions?
Can you repeat the question, please? I didn't quite get it.
Oh, sorry. What's like the end goal of the game, or if there's any gameplay additions that'll be coming on later?
Yeah, absolutely. So right now, the main goal of the game is to try to catch comets, right? You just zoom out, see where the comet is coming, and you want to grab a penny or do a wise move at the right moment. That's cool. So like it's a very cool game if you're doing a lot of calls all day, or you have a couple of 5 minutes to spare when you're grabbing your coffee. You want to look at if you are in range to mine a comet, and you just want to make a penny out of it and feel good about your cool armada, right? So that's the main interactions. Like you try to find the right place to be in, the right number of people to jump in, the right people to jump to, and so on. That's what it's like right now. So the game is like 6 weeks old right now, and the next step for us is to add some perks. So like making the gameplay a little bit more dynamic. So letting you put some mines on the land mines in space that will block other people to mine in your area. Having some more dynamic consumables like this, and also by May, we want to have a solar system that will be a stadium for PvP. Because what's cool with building everything out of the blockchain is that we can rely on blockchain mechanics to actually build something like a server, like a game server. So if you're familiar with MOBA like League of Legends or Dota 2, you join a game, you commit on being on a team or another, and once 10 people have committed to join the game, we create a comet that is just seeable from the screen of those people. It's like you have to log in or you have a special role in the smart contract that's represented by this comet. We can do PvP with pretty cool addition in terms of perks, in terms of consumable to enhance the gameplay, and hopefully we want to have the first blockchain esport tournament based on the game in late May, early June, hopefully. So you'll have the ability to play the Avegochi team or a diverse team or the Sushi Swap team against another team. And apart from just mining the comets, we have different types of comets that are coming in the next releases that don't just need for you to be at the right place at the right moment. There will be mechanism like a rover that you put on the comet and you have to wait for some time and then pick it up in the same type of mechanism that you have in meme pool, when you put some memes in the pool and you don't know if you're going to try to redeem right now or if you're better off redeeming later. Maybe there's nothing else to mine for you. So we use this kind of concept in game as well. Super excited by the PvP, by the way, and I think it's going to be a bash.
Yeah, that sounds interesting. I was imagining something like Faster Than Light, if I'm not mistaken, what that game's name is.
Yeah. I have to admit I haven't played Faster Than Light, and when we started to speak about Comet and go public with it, people were like, "Oh, it's like Faster Than Light," and I've downloaded it in mid-February and haven't had time to install it yet, but I'll definitely look it up.
Yeah, I recommend it, man.
Yeah. Also from an esport perspective, like we have those rare spaceships that are mythic or rare that are clearly better than the other in very small number. So we would imagine that some categories in the esport part will require those spaceships. So they will. We hope that naturally we'll organize a league of very good players that will be renting those spaceships or that will be leveraging the spaceships for advantage in game or for accessing special leagues, and that's where we want to go. While in the meantime, continuing to distribute game prizes from the trades in the decks and the DeFi stuff that we expose.
Sounds good.
Yeah, I was curious if you guys had like sort of what type of fee generation you guys were taking in as a protocol already, in terms of like the amount of is the currency called dust? Is that what's basically fed into the asteroids, I think?
So the currency of the game is called the Must with an M, and the logo is simply an alembic.
Don't you convert must to dust though, I thought?
That's right. So we have a principle that's about farming. We don't have the right network here, but we have something called the tube where you put your must. It's actually not deployed on the L2 yet. So what you do is that it's a smart contract where you can stake your must, and your must accrued some dust, and from dust you generate NFTs. So some consumable in the game, some perks in the game will be dropped in the tube. This is how we release some of the spaceships of every collections. So people that are not spending the must, just loading them in the tube, they are able to mint some NFT or to claim some of the NFT that we put for sale. So right now, what we realized with this mechanism is that it was pretty cool to distribute cool NFTs to the must holders. Like you lock your must, you accrue some dust. At some point, you claim some NFTs. But when we deployed the game, it was like mid-January, the gas price were already 40 gig away, and then 5 days later, it skyrocketed to a couple of hundreds or 150 gig away. So soon enough, it became something that couldn't bear having people minting NFTs twice a day. Like, it was just too expensive for the NFT that we were exposing in the tube. So we are migrating this tube to the layer 2, and we'll have the same mechanism. So with the Must token, the target is April for this. You'll be able to stake them in the layer 2 and claim some cool consumables or unique items in the game with the Must that you've staked. Regarding hence the confusion with the Must and Dust. Like, this was something that we were really wanted to explore in the early beginning, and it became just not economically feasible with the status of the state of the L1 at this time. So we pushed that back, and we'll bring it up in the L2. And regarding the fees, whenever there is a jump, we take 5% of the jump with a minimum price of 0.0003. And that's refunneled to the Comet. So, like, whenever we do an NFT sales, we get some ETH, we get some other token and some other thing. So we match it with our quote currency, the Must, and we distribute the LP token that we get from the NFT sales to the game. So, like, typically when we did the Badger DAO collaboration, every Ether that we got out of the NFT sales, we converted it to 30% of Must that we give as cash back to the NFT purchaser, and the 70% that's left, we buy market price some tokens from Badger. So we got some BDIG and some B Badger, and then on the L2 we create an B Badger to Must liquidity pool, and over time we distribute either the fees or the LPs directly to the game. And in terms of fees on Comet Swap, it's a layer 2 DEX. So we believe that there is a way for LPs to be rewarded a little bit more, since you don't really have to pay the fees for the mining of the transaction. So the LPs get 0.5% on Comet Swap instead of the usual 0.3%. And on those 0.5%, 10%, so 0.05, got redistributed in the game. So right now we distribute about $20,000 per week in game for the 2,000 or so players that we have, and that's about all the fees we get. Oh no, we take also the 5% fee on the renting. So if you get to put one of your spaceship on leasing, we'll take 5%. So if you rent this one for one Must, the owner will only get 0.95. We'll take 5% for us and use it to match liquidity on new pools or to redistribute it.
Gotcha. I see. Okay.
Well, that's a pretty bad deal. Look at this guy. Like, if you get this deal, every time you mine, you'll get 9%, and the owner will get 91%. Wow, and the entrance fees are pretty high. Yeah, no, that's not a good rental.
I was curious if you had any like major influences in terms of what led the design for MustCometh.
I've actually, when I was 4 years ago, I opened the Paris office of Consensus. This is where I met Joseph DeLong, that's right now at Sushi. And by that time, we were trying to recruit engineers to join Consensus, to join the blockchain space. So what we thought was a good way of getting them into the game, into Solidity and into Ethereum, was to expose them to some token economics. So we came up with this game that we called at this time Rainbow Token, where the principle was you have an ERC-71. It's a token that has a color, the RGB color, and you can just mix your color with other people by paying them. And the goal of the game was to reach a certain color that we determined at the beginning of the session, and we do a presentation about what is Ethereum, what is smart contract, and so on. And then we can make them play the game, like try it out, do some transaction, try to get the right color, try to find the algorithm to match this color. So I really like this game. I really like the powerful concept that we were trying out here. And so I wanted to have it in a more dynamic way, having a more strategic interactions. And for 2 years, I've been playing like crazy a tabletop game that's called Twilight Imperium. So I just wanted to see this space, and this is how it came out.
Interesting. You just added a board game for me to go check out.
Oh man, Twilight Imperium. It's the rabbit hole. I don't think I don't know if you're going back to blockchain after Twilight Imperium.
No.
No, I mean I'm able to play Twilight Imperium for 10 hours straight without looking at my phone, without even thinking about is EIP 1559 going to get in or not. It's it's really an amazing game. Try it out.
Yeah, is it like it almost looks like a little like Warcrafty.
Yeah, absolutely. But I have a long history with Warcraft as well, or RTS and so on. But so what's cool with Twilight Imperium is that it's pretty well balanced because of the social interaction, which makes it weird, right? Like everybody sees that some races are pretty strong, but in the same time, people counter interact with each other. So like it's pretty cool. Like try it out. It's not a cheap game, but it's worth every penny it is.
Sweet. I'll definitely check that out. My family plays lots of board games.
I think, yeah. So if you have some sushi on layer 2, I highly suggest that you come and put them on Comet Swap, because the reward are pretty high. Like there is a small liquidity right now. Only 26K. It's coming out. Think about it. We reward pretty well in Must, for you to play, for you to wait, for you to get a cooler spaceship, for you to play around. Think about it, and we'll see next week. We'll be maybe able to announce something much bigger than that.
Yeah, what is the liquidity provider rewards like?
So let me check. That. I think it's high. I don't know how high, but I think it's high. let me check. So the goal of Comet Swap was to have this kind of DeFi approach, in a sense that we know that people are creating investment strategies, creating ETF sort of financial primitives in the blockchain, which means that for people to participate, they have to deposit their coins. They have to deposit what they have inside the smart contract, and let the smart contract do its magic. So you have the deposit fees, you have the withdrawal fees, you have everything there is to add to that, and it doesn't really feel right. Like if I get some if I get some X sushi, at some point maybe I don't want to go back. I don't want to pay for the trade for the X sushi to sushi. So we wanted to offer people a possibility of doing this without having to go back to the L1. So it's 238. 238% right now.
Awesome, I see it. Yeah.
And the liquidity is still small, so there is like lots of room to grow here. So the idea would be that like you have a token that is kind of linked to some form of yield, So for example, the stake DAO, Curve, Rent BTC, WBTC, SBTC. It's an investment strategy from stake DAO. You know that they are just going to play they are going to play arbitrage all the time between those three tokens. So like it's a token that is meant to be linked to BTC and have a small edge on this. Well, if you want to participate, you need to deposit a lot of different tokens inside the Curve contract. So instead of that, just buy the strategy right away. Buy it on L2 and put a couple of $100s on it or a couple of dollars on it. Like the fees are okay, and you can liquidate to something else. So there is a small premium on being on the L2. So going back to L1 is going to be costly at some point. Like you would have to spare a transaction to get in and out. But hopefully you can convert everything to ETH or convert everything to Sushi or convert everything to DAI or USDC or whatever float your boat and do one single transaction to get out if you want to. I hope in the short run we will have also a centralized exchange that will do that, like deposit on the centralized exchange, do your trades if you want to go back to fiat for whatever reasons, and then go back to L1 if you want. That's kind of the strategy of acquisition of new pairs we have, and yeah, it's pretty cool. And you get pretty cool spaceships that we sometimes distribute to LPs. Sometimes we airdrop some NFT to LPs. We did that before. Might do it again. Trying to leak some alpha there.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you're putting down. Some good alpha. Awesome. Let me just sort of going over my notes now to see if I missed something I wanted to talk about.
So maybe while you're doing that, how hard it is to go to Matic. So you get this, the Matic team has come up with this pretty good bridge. It's well optimized. It's not optimistic rollup based yet. That's the POS bridge. The OR bridge is coming out. I don't have a definitive date in mind. I think they say the Q3 or maybe end of Q2. So you still have to trust the POS. I don't remember honestly, so I don't want to be misleading anyone. But they are going in. Yeah. So you won't have to really trust the team on handling it. You can be a validator on the bridge, or if you just want to be a staker on Matic and have your say on who gets in and who goes out. Like it's up to you where you want to see the security of the bridge here. What interests me more is that it's quite a fast bridge to get in, and an okay fast bridge to get out if you want to. So it doesn't cost too much in gas. So if you were to deposit like some DAI, you do the transaction and that's it. You just press transfer, not on the right network, but it just takes you a deposit transaction that's basically a transfer plus. So it even makes sense to just do deposit on the layer 2, do the trades on layer 2, and go back to layer 1 for some situations. That's also something we are exploring with other partners, maybe with SushiSwap, who knows. And once you get on the layer 2, you can use your MetaMask. Something that's pretty cool. Let me show you this. Is that now we have a hook on MetaMask. So if I were to switch to say Robston, they would be like, hey, no, you're not supposed to be on Robston. So you don't have to go to this painful thing of adding new RPC, of checking it out. Now there is a hook thing. You're like, hey, switch network. I mean, it's such an improvement in terms of way of handling the L2. So pretty happy with this.
That has to be like a new feature in MetaMask, right?
Yeah. And I'm very proud to say that Comet was the very first project to integrate this feature of MetaMask.
Yeah, I've not seen that anywhere. Yeah.
Let's see if we can catch some comets. By the way, like what time is it? Is there anyone coming in? So if you want to switch from one plane to another, you have to be in the range of this portal here. So you can explore the universe by jumping into those portals or accessing some hidden features of the universe. I think I'm too far away. Am I? Well, let's see. Yeah.
Also, if there, how do you move your spaceship further out than anybody else? Because if you like don't have somebody to pull to, how do you get there?
That's the limit, right?
Well, then how did the people at the edges get there?
Oh yeah, I can travel. I just encountered the portal. So what happened is that when you load into a new universe, you get dropped somewhere. So we have a density function that we handle so that people get not too far away, not too close together. And you can draw a new position by jumping into the portal and in and out. So there is a small cost to that. I think it's like 1 cent, 1 penny to go in and out, so that people just don't spam until they end up exactly on the comet. It's not worthwhile trying doing that. But there is an item that we're working on that lets you explore. Like you would just drop
Like thrusters to push yourself around.
Yeah. So the thruster actually is something that we keep for the PvP. So you see, I get pink thruster here, and I'm going at a certain speed with this thruster. So everybody's going at the same speed, but with a certain thruster, you can go faster or slower. So like we want to explore that. So let's say, for example, I drop a landmine here. So when you are inside this landmine, you cannot mine, or you lose some speed, or you lose some loot for the PvP. Then we will let you just equip the right thruster at the right moment, and the right moment being blockchain constraint, right? Like you need to have your transaction mined to actually get the perks equipped. So like we want to see what's the cool way of streaming that. So like having people talking about, journalists talking about the game and be like, "Oh, we didn't equip his thruster at the right time. Oh my God, it's not going to mine this time. The blue team is winning." This kind of thing. Like I can definitely see that, and I think it's going to be pretty cool.
It's interesting. I think is every operation completed in every block, or is there sometimes like multiple block grace periods on interactions because it is on blockchain and multiplayer type of experience?
Yeah, so you don't really know, right? It's there is this the aspect of randomness come from the speed or at which your transaction get into the network and reach a validator that will create a block. So sometimes you'll be on the top of the block and you will manage to put your transaction before everyone else, manage to be at the right spot before everyone else. Sometimes you won't. So you're better off anticipating a lot. And when you anticipate too much, from the PvP perspective, for example, people will be able to sanction you for this, like to counterplay what you've been doing. So indeed, everything is recorded on the blockchain. So like if I pick this spaceship, for example, I want to jump on this guy. Well, by the time that MetaMask is calculating the gas limit, the gas price, and so on, and pushing me this notification, now my transaction is in. So this is how the suspense will start. Like, will I arrive at my destination soon enough, or will I have to wait? Because we verify that you are at the right spot, the right moment. We have an XY axis. We verify that you are in the range of something at some point in time, and this is how it goes. So now maybe I jumped too late. Maybe I jumped too soon.
It's all in the luck of the draw. Um, Oh, something I also just thought of is for when you guys are working on the PvP, are you concerned about like I guess it wouldn't be minor, it'd be like node extracted value, I guess, from Matic node runners?
I mean, that's part of the game. Well, we don't know yet. I mean, like, it's hard to tell
Well, because the
how
way
much they
I'm
can.
imagining. Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
I mean, we will probably have the first. So on Matic, most of the most of the nodes are operated by Matic. So I doubt that the Matic team is going to favor the Sushi Swap team against the Pickle Finance team, or will they? I don't know. I know some of them are pretty close with the Yam team, so like we don't know. Like it's going from too much of a hassle, like to write script for your node to just deny transaction from this guy or delay them. And at some point, the guys from the other node runner will be able to do the exact opposite. So and if we look at it from a much broader perspective, like if the PvP really picks up, and I'm sure it will, at some point people will have real money invested in and be like, hey, I'm team Pickle Finance. We are running a node on Matic, so you don't get to extract value out of us, right? We were running our own node. For example, we could think about how we could roll up in a zero knowledge fashion the interaction, but let's see if we face this kind of behavior before we really try to kill it, right? Worst case, it happened. It made the headlines, and we're like, hey, you know what? This is what it is. Like you cannot cheat in a very transparent blockchain network, or if you cheat, it's going to be obvious.
Yeah, everyone will be able to see you cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Sort of like a synergy between both sort of crypto economic systems, both Matic and then also the Must sort of tokenomics and economy could sort of drive participants in each network.
Yeah, and then a logic continuation is, of course, having some perks, having a way of customizing your spaceship. For example, this one, green and red, like it's like Christmas spaceship. It's pretty awful if you ask me. Like I think this one is really not a beautiful one. So I may want to just paint it all green or blue and green or whatever. So like we get this size of customization. And something we're exploring as well is letting people customize their spaceship with the capacity of boosting the stats because you have certain NFTs in your wallet. So we're working on balancing that. It's kind of like a head breaker. Like every time you think about it, you have other problems. But let's say you have a CryptoPunk equipped in your wallet, maybe on your L1 or maybe on your L2 wallet. We can consider it as your pilot, so you get a boost in like maybe 1% of your mining area or X% of your mining area. So we want that so that we could potentially explore lending at a larger scale on NFTs, so that you get your dream spaceship with the right art inside, the right pilots, the right crew, and the right booster, because you get this specific artwork for a specific project, and see how we can find metaverse synergies with this. That's possible. That's something that the game and the blockchain mechanics lets us do. So we're really excited to see how it could play out. Maybe in a PvP setup or maybe in a classic game setup.
Yeah, that's awesome. In terms of like, you know, putting some utility to another NFT like a CryptoPunk, and being able
Yeah,
to
I'm kind of
actually.
worried myself on those on the burst of NFTs. We benefited from that. Like clearly we were in the NFT craze at the right moment. But the cool thing is like many of those NFTs don't have any utility to it, and I've been putting in such a large number that you'll be happy to find something to do with to justify that they have something linked to that. Um, Other than just being a one of a kind art piece or a hundred of a kind art piece. So pretty interested in pushing more value for all communities like this.
And for the Must staking, is that still live on L1, or is
Yeah,
it?
that's still live on L1, right? So
Gotcha.
like we have lots of people that are accumulating dust, and we release new spaceships all the time in the tube. So maybe if we go, yeah, we are in the beta of OpenSea. Wow, there's not much NFT left to purchase. Damn. Anyway, let me check on OpenSea itself. So we release rare spaceships in the tube, and so like if you are a Must taker, you can unlock pretty cool NFTs. The last one we exposed was the Badger collection. Let me see where it goes. Yeah, here it is. So we had those mini Voras, like those ones. They were available if you had 5,000 dust. So that's a lot of dust. And we also expose uncommon spaceships that you can mint from 150 or 200 dust. So we have people that are just accumulating dust, waiting for the time that they will get a super cool spaceship and just go with it. We want to transition the tube from L1 to L2. So the dust that you are accumulating right now, it will be a balance on the layer 2 for more things. So if you don't know what to do with your Must, you don't feel like dumping it, just put them in the tube. You'll get rewarded. Or migrate them to L1 and do LP. Or even better, migrate them to L2 and do LP on Comet Swap, or keep them on L1 and participate to the Onsen.
Yeah, you can get some of those Comet Swap NFT potentials.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have sort of. Oh wait, so are you guys actually going to be moving to Optimistic Rollup?
So we want to see how the support of Matic Optimistic Rollup Bridge goes. The reason why we wanted Optimistic Rollup in the first place was the ease by which we go in and out of the other chain or the other layer, or however you wanna frame it. And we've been battle testing first Matic, like when Arbitrum goes live, and we are very close to the Arbitrum teams. I think this team is super talented and really good. Whenever it goes live on their end, we'll definitely consider what's the matter with them, how is it going, what's the advantage, and so on. Maybe try to have a beta there and see how it goes. But it's not a tough decision in terms of optimization. It's more a decision in terms of what kind of tooling you'll get there. So, for example, for us, having the graph and also data tool on Matic was like we waited for so long, we run our own and so on. So we'll probably try it out, see how it plays out, see how it can run and so on. And if we get better tooling and if we get better support, like we'll definitely consider migrating in the short run.
Interesting. Okay, so things are still fluid, but it's interesting you talk about the tooling. Like I'm trying to think of a comparison to something on like L1 on Ethereum.
I mean, if you don't get any, like let's take for example the RPC. It's not Matic's fault, but we just we hammered this network. Like we send 15K transaction per day. So like at some point the RPC just say like, hey, give me a break. Like I don't want to have to deal with your transaction anymore. So what do you say to your users? There is Matic Virgil on the L2. That's cool. But they don't have the same experience as something like an Infura will have. but they are ramping up, and we are super happy building a good activity with them. But when you jump in on a layer 2 that is pretty new, it's just like, it's there's so many things to build. So it's cool when you have only 100 or 200 players. When you have 2,000, like, wow, well, I'm going to go baby step.
Get
like
more
first,
stressful.
start with the first implementation, go with the second, and so on. So, for example, now it's taking some time to load my spaceship on this page. It's probably that the Matic network is a little bit slow at this time. Most of the time it go okay, but sometimes, for some specific things, you have to wait a little bit more. You have to, so that's yeah. And I know it's
Still in the dial-up phase.
yeah. So, and from a broader perspective, like I remember doing some hackathons in 2015, 16, 17s. 17s a little bit less, but 15, 16s, we were just super happy when even the contract were compiling. We're like, wow, actually it compiled, wow, it deployed, wow. Now we're like, well, there's tooling everywhere, there's support from Truffle, there's good audit firms, there's so many things that we can rely on. That's super cool. But now we're starting to get picky. Like we want to see something that works well before even trying to do something. Oh yeah, now it's loading. I just started to reload the page. So if by any chance you get a spaceship, you can rent it. Like put your rental offer. Say you want to rent it for like 5 days. So you want to have a leasing contract for 95%, and you don't want to be too picky on the must price for the entry cost. And chances are someone is going to pick up your rental and run the spaceship for you. So you'll have a passive income with someone playing the spaceship for you and giving out some LP tokens to you directly. So if you're interested, check it out. The Matic OpenSea. And yeah, let's see, NFT Matic OpenSea. There it is. On the matic.opensea.io, you'll find some Comet spaceships to sell, to buy, sorry, or to put for sale.
And do you recommend purchasing them off of OpenSea? Because I thought I might just be totally wrong, but I thought that the store where there was some sort of ship store in the MustCometh website, or was that just
yeah? So if you go on app.cometh.io, you'll get direct link to our store on L1 or to the store on L2. So there is a twist, right? If you buy a spaceship from the store, the NFT Forge, you have it on L1. So you have to send it to L2, right? You have to do the transfer. So it's gas costly, but when the spaceship arrive on L2, you get 30% of the spaceship price as cashback in Must, that you can either swap on Comet Swap, either use for LP, either use to play, whatever. So we still have a couple of Anakuma for sales. Like the collection went out a couple of days ago. But you have to bear the price to transfer them. So that's kind of the problem. Like, look at this. Wow, it's a perfect color. I might even buy this one. Okay, anyway. And if you want to buy some on the L2, there are second-hand spaceships. So they work exactly like the others. But they've already crossed the bridge. So sometimes they are a little bit more expensive than what you would find for the same model on the L1. So like it's a little bit up to you, like how you want to play this out. If you think that 0.15 ETH is like too expensive for an NFT, you can still rent them and try the game for yourself and see how it goes. So like I don't know, like it's one of the problem, right, from the L2 perspective, that we might not have with a pure optimistic rollup approach, because we need to have a source of truth for the NFT, and the source of truth that we choose for the NFT is the layer 1. So the way I would see the Ethereum space going in the next 8 to 12 months, 8 to 20 months, is having the L1 as really a settlement layer, and have lots of chains like plug into this, speaking to this, and wanting to go back to this at some point. In this case, the cost of minting will still have to be on L2. So we are trying to figure out a way where we can just say like, hey, I'm just minting in bulk on L1, transferring everything to a contract on L1 that act as a bridge for the L1 to L2 and be a temporary bridge. And I think we're going to be able to do that with the release of the optimistic rollup from Mythic. But yeah, right now we still have to mint in the first place the NFTs on L1. So we give this cash back as a sweetener, so that, yeah, okay, I'm going to transfer my spaceship and so on.
Gotcha. So they're minted on L1 and then they're transferred to the L2.
Yeah. Well, there's still a 3 monocle and a beautiful slice. Pretty nice Pickle Finance spaceship. There you go.
And I didn't want to cut anybody off, but did anybody else have any questions they wanted to ask? I thought this was getting close to a good point to wrap things up, but again, I don't want to cut anybody off if they have a question.
So I'm not seeing the. Let me shut down the stream. Seeing the chat, so I don't know. Maybe I missed something. If I did, just ping me on the Slack. I'm super happy to answer anything.
Yeah, awesome. And so, MustCometh, the website is cometh.io.
Yep.
To find out more about MustCometh. And what is a Twitter account that is best associated with the project?
It's at MustCometh in one word.
Gotcha. Okay, at MustCometh. Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Jerome, for coming out and talking with the sushi community and sharing more about MustCometh.
Super happy to get to know you guys. Happy also to pretty soon be cruising in space with you all.
Yeah, awesome. Awesome. All right. Well, take care, stay safe. Catch you guys next time.